Can the president fire government officials despite laws meant to shield them from politics? This case this time involves a Democratic member of the Federal Trade Commission, Rebecca Slaughter. President Trump fired her in March, saying she did not align with his agenda. But really, it's about something much bigger than this, and how the court rules will have major implications for all, really, government agencies. Here now, CNN's chief Supreme Court analyst, Joan Piskupic. We're talking about one of the biggies here, Joan.
Absolutely, John. And today at 10 a.m., the justices will hear what is really one of the most important cases. It's not one that, sounds as exciting as, birthright citizenship or some of President Trump's other initiatives. But this one really is going to go deep into the federal bureaucracy and the regulatory agencies that protect us. The reason that a president is not supposed to be able to fire people across the board when he comes in is because certain agencies are supposed to be independent. They handle matters of, labor relations, federal trade, the economy. The Federal Reserve is one of those independent agencies where the president is essentially kind of roped off so he does not pressure these people, and they're not supposed to be removed from office before their term is over unless they've engaged in some sort of misconduct. And as you said, Rebecca Slaughter at the Federal Trade Commission received an email in mid-March that said, you are inconsistent with our priorities in this administration. She won her case, John, in lower courts because the lower court judges were relying on a 1935 case from 90 years ago in which the Supreme Court ruled that FDR could not fire, at that time, a Federal Trade Commissioner because of just the power of Congress to write independence into these laws. And what has happened through the years is that this conservative Supreme Court is slowly kind of eroded the power of that case, which is known as Humphrey's Executor versus the United States, because there was a man by the name of William Humphreys who President Roosevelt was trying to get rid of. So kind of an awkward name of a case, but that's what you'll hear a lot about today. And the justices have slowly eroded that over the years, but they've never reversed it. And Justice Kagan wrote when Rebecca Slaughter's case first came up to the Supreme Court, the majority may be raring to go to reverse that case, but you cannot reverse it until the deed is actually done. Because, John, in the first chapter of Ms. Slaughter's case, the justices said President Trump was allowed to let her go. So that was just a temporary statement, but now we'll hear if they're really serious about ending the protections for these independent agencies that, as I say, control so much of our consumer products regulation, financial services regulation, things that really matter to Americans, but that the Supreme Court believes, should be really held by the President of the United States in terms of his power. Finally, John, we know what this court has already given President Trump. Last year in that immunity ruling really enhanced his power to be shielded from the checks and balances from the other branches. And then earlier this year, it limited what lower court judges can do to kind of rein in the president. And so this one, John, it looks like the justices, to use Elena Kagan's words, the majority is raring to go. But if it does, suddenly President Trump will have even more power than he has today to control what used to be called independent agencies.
Yeah,
John.